Okay guys, before we start the video, just quickly, First Man is so much more than just a YouTube channel. We've got digital products, we've got physical products. The digital products include courses, books, ebooks, etc. And the physical products is everything from supplements to clothing to grooming products to the paperback physical copy of our book. So the two links will be below, go and check them out guys, and now back to the video you came here to watch. Okay guys, in this video we're going to be talking about something that's very close to my heart, which is the insane financial pressures that are put on men. And it's something that pisses me off, really pisses me off, because I don't think, number one, I don't think it's appreciated. I don't think it's understood. I really don't think it's understood. It's almost considered comical. You know, a lot of people will laugh at it. A lot of people say, well, you know, like I'll give you an example. Like when women say, for example, we're not worried about a man having money. And it's like, yeah, okay, you might tell me that. You might say that. But why is it every guy I know with money has got a beautiful woman on his arm? Okay, and it could be a byproduct of who he is as a person, hence why he's made that much money. It could be the way he's, used that money to frame himself. So then it's like, curiosity, who is that guy? But I'm telling you from experience, like, I was the same guy back then as I am now. I've grown, I've become better, but I was at the core the same guy, the same fundamentals. I, have changed my facial appearance, body, etc. a little bit and whatnot, like along the way. But ever since getting money, it's like female options just go through the roof. Like people see you in, for example, not to brag, this coat is AlphaTauri. It's like a £700 coat. It just makes a difference. Like it's tailored as well, so it's probably like a £850 coat, right? And you just walk down the street differently. You get noticed. Like people compliment you, nice coat and stuff like that. My friend was saying to me the other day, what you need now is a really expensive watch. He was like, I promise you. He was like, I bought an expensive watch. He was like, I've never had so many women in my life. And that's not the goal, right? I'm not sitting here saying that's the goal, but it's one thing that fucking annoys me. Because you get told one thing, a lot of young men get told one thing, but then what you experience is another, right? And I don't get angry at women. That's not why I make these videos. I'm not one of those, podcaster type guys. But it is a little bit like, ladies, please tell us what you want. Okay? Because, like, I think I know the answer because I've experienced it. But when I was like 18, and all of you guys that are watching this that are younger, who have got an inkling that, like, hey, every guy that I see who's got money seems to have options with women and seems to be having a whale of a time. And then you ask women or you say something about money and they're like, well, I'm not interested in money. Well, money doesn't interest me. But then you're like, but hang on a minute. Your last 3 boyfriends have earned 6 figures plus. You had a doctor, an entrepreneur. You were with this millionaire kid. It's like, so you're telling us one thing and then doing another. So I find that wildly confusing. And I'm telling you from my experience, every bracket of wealth I've gone up, the better the quality of women and the easier it's become. Especially once they see how you're living, your assets, your type of lifestyle. Like, it just becomes even easier. Like, who doesn't want to be a part of that? That's fun, okay? And that is ultimately life setup, but it stems from the money. So I find that hugely annoying because it's told, don't worry about money. I want a guy for his blah, blah, blah. But then we see another thing. So I find that wildly annoying. But then number 2, and probably a much bigger point, is when you see one of these, like, fucking, I don't know, just like one of these TV shows where they're discussing, like, Men's Mental Health Day. And it's like they'll get a doctor on or something. I don't know why they do this, but they always have a female doctor. I don't understand why they do this. It's almost like they're kicking us in the bollocks over this. And instead of inviting somebody like myself on, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand that. But they'll sit there with the female doctor and they'll say, why are men under 50 killing themselves and depressed at such a high rate? And the doctor will say, well, men just don't talk to each other. They don't express their emotions like women do. And I just think that's such a lazy fucking answer. It's such a lazy answer because I don't know whether people feel comfortable talking to me because I do what I do. But all of my friends have said to me at some point, I burst into tears over this one thing. I broke down. Mate, I'm suffering. I'm not feeling good. Mate, can you help me with something? Like, this has been playing on my mind. Happens all the time. So I'm like, well, that's not it. That's definitely not it. You know, and other guys will say the same. Look at what Hamza did the other day with the meetup. Things like this are happening. You know, guys are meeting up. Guys are going to the gym together. Guys are discussing certain things about women. Like, if you've broken up with a girlfriend and you feel sad, guys will be like, hey, come out with us, mate. Like, we'll look after you. It's not like we all sit there and go, ha, fuck you. You're a pussy. You know, we do look after each other in some sense. So I always think that's a lazy answer. But this is what I believe is wildly misunderstood in this era, is the sheer level of financial pressures that are on men. And it doesn't get understood. It doesn't get understood because I'll give you a great example here, okay? Let's say a decent wage, okay? A decent wage in the UK, something like 40,000 per year. That's pretty good money. You're not gonna, blow the fucking roof off the world, but it's pretty good money. It's livable. You know, you can do a decent amount with it, right? If you gave that money to a woman, and it's very hard to explain, but that's why I prefer YouTube because it's longer content. I got to go back a step here as well. In my opinion, men need different things to women, and this is where this is all based. And I'll bring it back. I'll come back to that point in a minute. I'll remember. As a man, you need to be a certain level in life. You need to accomplish certain things. You need to have a certain level of wealth to be able to provide a certain type of lifestyle. If a woman meets you and you're broke and your life resembles that or reflects that, it's very likely she's not going to take you on. Very likely she's not going to say, hey, do you know what? I'll fund everything. Like, it's not going to happen, right? But in reverse, men dream of providing for their woman. You know, if you've been struggling with a woman for a little while, like you dream about earning enough money to provide for her. And it's plausible. You know, there's women out there that are sharks, okay? They make money, they hustle, they go for it. I'm not saying that for a second, but I'm just saying en masse, okay? It's plausible for a woman to be 18 years old, never worked a job in her life, has £100 in her bank account, has no ambition to go and get a job, and to get spotted by a guy like myself who's 30 years old, who has hundreds of thousands in the bank, you know, is developing projects and products all the time, which shows wild potential that he's going to be a multi-millionaire within the next year or so, right? I'm basically describing my scenario there. I could plausibly be like, I like you. I think you've got a great personality. You tick a lot of boxes. Yeah, but and other girls have said this to me as well. Yeah, but she's broke. She doesn't even have a job. She doesn't even drive and shit like that about women that I've, been dating. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Okay? And the point I'm making there is that's the luxury that a woman has, but not a man. You know, we've got a certain level of responsibility. He doesn't drive. Everyone's like, he doesn't have a job. Oh, I don't know, girl. There's better guys out there for you. It's possible. We all saw the meme back in the day when it was a guy works at McDonald's. Oh, he's a bum. You could get better than that. There's going to be a baller out there that wants you. A girl working at McDonald's. You get it, girl. Boss bitch, working woman, right? There's different rules. And some people get angry when they describe this. I don't get angry about a lot. Barely anything. And I'm not going to get angry about this. Sometimes it's just the way things are. And I'm okay with it because I quite like the level of competition. I quite like the fact that I can't just go, I want to sleep with you. She's like, okay, earn me. It's quite good because it means that I've improved as a man throughout my life for multiple reasons. But the pursuit of getting to the top and being able to attract women, it's up there. It's up there. Once you've got high testosterone, you want it. Do you know what I mean? Every man finds beautiful women attractive and they'd love to have one if they could. Okay, so I've not got a problem with it. But women don't understand that luxury. They don't quite appreciate until they get to a certain age, okay, when they might have boys of their own and whatever, and it clicks. It happens later down the line. And there's a lot of things we don't understand because our lives are different to women. But in terms of the topic of discussion here, financial pressures, I just don't think young women have any idea the pressure that we're under. Now, are there women that are struggling? Yeah. Are there women that aren't attractive who don't have that luxury? Yeah. But like I said, I always talk about mass. I always talk about the population as a whole. And I would say the average woman is pretty good looking, you know, and she has the potential to go to the gym for a year, clean up her diet, and look, and you know, put on a tight dress and look pretty fucking amazing. Like, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. Keep your body fat quite low. Do a bunch of squats. You know, put on some tight clothes and some nice makeup. Get your hair done. Like, you're gonna get a ton of looks. You're gonna get somebody who wants you. I don't think it's that difficult. Okay. Now, reverting back to the point I made earlier, I think women can get away with just being attractive. They don't have to be top level beautiful, but they can just be attractive to a point where a guy goes, I like her. I'm willing to provide. I'm willing to do something. Okay? If a woman was a billionaire, wouldn't it change my level of attraction towards her? If I was a billionaire, I'm sure I'd be more attractive to a lot of different women. Now, not all women would have that, but the way that I'd be able to set my life up, the stuff that I'd be able to do, probably the friends that I'd have, the circles that I'd be socializing in, I assume, because I'm not there yet, so it is an assumption, that's fair to say, but I do assume that the quality and quantity of the women I'd be able to attract would be far greater. I don't think that's an unfair argument. So there's a difference there. Okay, like money, financials, whatever, it has a heavy impact on men. Like I said, I'm okay with that. For women, I don't think it does. And here's my case in point that I want to make here. 40,000 per year. For a woman, if I was a woman, I would do this. A lot of women put too much pressure on themselves. Girls that are watching this now, I'm telling you, it's stupid. It's stupid. Just relax. Like, you don't need to do half the shit we're trying to do. Everyone said be a boss bitch, provide for yourself. What you really don't need to. Okay, you can if you want. I'm not fucking. I don't decide what your life's gonna be. It's up to you. But if I was a woman, here's how I'd play it. I would live in a shitty flat. Doesn't really matter, because okay, I'll get to that in a second. I would not have a car. I would spend all my money on, you know, I'd even be tempted to work part-time 4 days a week so that I could have an extra sleep, an extra lie-in, beauty sleep, an extra day off to get myself prepared for the weekend. I'd probably work Monday to Thursday. I'd maybe do HR, half day Thursday, half day Monday, something like that, you know. And I would use all my spare time to make myself look good. I would go to the gym. I wouldn't be worried about my finances too much. I'd be like, just give me enough so that I can get my hair done. I can go to the gym, stay in shape. I can eat clean, which doesn't cost a lot. And obviously, women have to eat a lot less, so it's very cost effective. So I can order, you know, how cheap are women's clothes? You can get beautiful dresses for like fucking 30 quid that fit their body like perfectly. Okay, the figure hugging ones. Like, if a man's wearing cheap clothes, you can tell. If a woman's wearing cheap clothes, it's like, she looks fucking amazing. We still want to sleep with her, so there's a massive difference there. If I was a woman, I would spend all my money on like going to the spa, hair, skin treatments, whatnot. And my whole goal would be make myself look as attractive as possible. And I would try and use the cheat codes of just attracting a partner who's already at a certain point in life. And I'd have no shame in him taking care of me, right? Now, that's not for every woman. I think from my experience of what I've seen of the world, that would be the smartest strategy. You don't have to. Everyone likes to have their own money. But I think it's a very smart strategy, and the happiest women in the world have kind of done that. Now, as a woman, you might not want to go down that route. Fair enough. No problem at all. I'm just saying that's what I would do. But the point I'm making there is you have the option to do that. Okay? You could be completely broke. Like I said, you could live in a dog shit flat, which costs you nothing. If you're absolutely gorgeous and I find you attractive and we go back to your flat and it's a bit shit, as long as the sheets are clean, and look, and truth be told, even if they're not, most guys will still sleep with you if you're that attractive. Most guys aren't going to worry. They'll be like, hey, just go over to the sofa. Oh, there's a couple stains on the sofa. Do you really think a man is going to worry? A man's going to be like, her ass is amazing. I literally do not care. You know, has it put me off? Maybe like 1%, right? Oh, she doesn't have a car. Yeah, I'll go and pick her up. I feel manly doing it. You know, it doesn't matter. Whereas in reverse, 40,000 per year for a man, it doesn't stretch that far. You try and get yourself a car, a nice house. You try and keep that house up together. If a girl comes in and your flat is dirty, she's like, oh, I'm not really sleeping with you here. Like, there's different rules. The scrutiny on us is enormous. And we're expected to have our own house, to live a certain way. The house has to be a certain quality. It doesn't have to be a mansion, but it has to be a certain quality. The car has to be a certain quality where it's not like, you know, some real cheap boy racer, or it's not embarrassing. Like, there's a lot, like, this isn't all women, I've noticed this, but a lot of women will be like, I don't really fancy him anymore because of his car. Like, it's put me off a little bit. Which is fair enough. Which is fair enough. You know, we might see a woman who's out of shape and be like, that's kind of turned me off. I don't really like that. You know, that extra bit of fat right there, I'm not really attracted to it. And people give me shit for saying stuff like that. But it's the same in reverse. If a woman sees, if I had a shit car and a woman saw that and went, that turns me off, I'd be like, well, fair enough. Like, you can't control that. It's just a person's preference. You know, a guy could go to the gym, be crazy about the gym, see a woman that's got, you know, fat in all the wrong areas and just be like, nah, it's not for me. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just personal preference. Everyone says it's fat shaming or financial shaming. It's personal preference. So I've got no problem with it. But the pressure on the man there, that 40K just doesn't stretch because he can't live the same lifestyle. You know, all the stuff that's, look, and I'm not saying this is important to all women. This is all they worry about. It's not some girly girl thing. But I'm saying the stuff that really matters that we find attractive is cheap. It's pretty cheap. Okay, just get your hair done, some cheap heels, a cheap dress, you know, some makeup and whatever. Like you can, like, I'm not saying this stuff is cheap. Like, girls will say, oh, it's expensive. It's £100. Like, it's £100. Okay, we're not talking crazy numbers here. We're talking 3 figures. Most of the stuff, like I said, I think I said this in the previous video. I do videos back to back. This coat, £700. I had to get it tailored, 150 quid. Okay, so we're talking like a £900 investment, just shy of. That's the level that men have to go to. That's what we have to do. I've done, like, a woman can do a 6-month gym journey and look amazing because she started at a high point. Whereas as a man, you might have to do 6 years. Okay, and that's 6 years of monthly gym payments. That is 6 years of creatine, mass gainers, protein, all the food that we have to eat, double the calories. If you're bulking, like triple the calories that a woman's consuming. Everything for us costs more. You know, a woman can go and buy a pair of shoes for £30, £40. She's going to look amazing. As long as she's got a great body, she puts some heels on, she's going to look amazing, even if they're the cheapest shoes. As a man, it's like, if you got cheap shoes on, it's going to expose you. People are going to know. You know, you can't just wear some, like, cheap watch. My ex-girlfriend had a Casio watch. I didn't care. She was so attractive. I was like, that's great. Like, it just doesn't enter my mind. Whereas if I was wearing like a Casio watch, it might have been like, you'd look better in something else. She wouldn't have said that because she was a great woman, but like, it definitely weighs on us. Okay, and the stuff that we require. It's like I said, a woman can live in a shit flat, no car, buy makeup, get her hair done, go out with the girls, take one holiday every 6 months or so. They're happy with that. Whereas the financial pressures that are on a man is like, you have to have like a 40K car. Your house has to be at least like $500,000. Okay, you have to have stuff in that house which represents a certain lifestyle. Your wardrobe's going to have to be worth like 5K for it to be decent. We know that. Like a suit. A decent suit is going to cost you £300, £400, £500 minimum. Like shoes. Men's shit is priced high because they know that we earn more money on average. So they're like, just price it fucking higher. Okay, that's how the world works. It's hard for us to survive on 40K. Okay, and then you've got the next stage. You meet a woman, you get to know her, whatever. She's like, I want kids. Well, here's the thing. And I've told you guys this before. If she gets pregnant, it's celebrations all round from the family. All right, like she is, and so it should be, but she's allowed to then sit at home for 2, 3 years, 4 years before that kid goes to school and look after the child. She doesn't have to be in the workplace. Okay, she might not want to be. She might want to go, you know, it might be affecting her career. I appreciate that completely. But she has that ability. Whereas as the man, it's like, as soon as your girl gets pregnant, pressure is on your back. Your family are on you. Her family are on you. You know, if she said, oh, I lost my job, they'd be like, it's all right because you've still got so-and-so's income. If you lost your job, it's like, well, what the fuck is she supposed to do? She can't work. She's got the baby. It's not her fault. Nobody's blaming the woman there. I'm just saying that level of financial pressure on a man is enormous. Like 40K per year for a man. That's struggle city. That's struggle city. You're in trouble there. Like, not everyone's in this scenario. Not everyone's going to have to do this, but I've reinvested 600,000 since April into this business. It's creeping over the 600,000 mark now. It's just shy of it. It's going to creep over it. It's more likely going to be 650, maybe 700,000 by March. That's when everything will be done. Okay, that's what it's taken me to then very, very lightly get to the point I wanted to get, which was, 10, 20, 30 million, maybe 100 million, at some point, whatever. That'll probably be the next level of investment. But just to get to like the 10 million mark, okay? Oh, well, I don't need a man who's got that much. But you kind of do. You kind of do. Because if you want to raise like 2, 3 kids, you want to get a mortgage, you want to buy the house outright, you want a nice car, you want holidays, you want meals out. I need to be able to look after my family too, mum, sister, etc. I want to be able to buy some nice clothes. I want to give a certain image to the world. I would say yeah. And if I want a top level woman, then, who's used to that kind of lifestyle, I'm probably going to have to get to that level. And that's the financial pressures that we're laden with that doesn't get appreciated. And I don't read my comments anymore because it got stressful. But if I went through my comments, I'm sure there'd be a lot of women in there that would be like, that's not fair to say. Do you know how we expect? But I don't think they'll ever get it until they've had, sons of their own, and then they've gone, Jesus, that's a lot. We're expected to pay for every date. Maybe £1,000 a month goes out the door for me on dates. Maybe a bit more. Going out on dates, buying, picking girls up, fueling the car, and just stuff like that. Like, it's definitely £1,000. I don't see those little types of things, okay? It's not picked up on. And it's a shame. It annoys me. It does annoy me a little bit. I don't get angry over it, but it annoys me a little bit because it's just like, all I want is women to go, do you know what is fucking difficult for you lot? That's really tough. Like, for example, at 18, spotty, skinny, awkward, inexperienced, nothing to your name, no assets. Why is she going to sleep with you? She's not, okay? Great. And I think it's great. Because then that's the competitive game of life, and that is why men rise up and become, CEOs of companies, massive, successful, billionaire owners of companies. I think that's why so many men strive for greatness, because they're so used to being at the bottom. I think it's great in that sense. I think it encourages us to do more, be more, whatever. It gives you that sense of urgency and need. We're required to grow up and accomplish some stuff. Okay, that's fantastic in my opinion. So you go out into the world, you start ticking all these boxes, you start to grow, you start to put some points on the board, a concept that I always talk about. Your money goes up, you're able to buy a couple more assets, and you've got to reinvest, and you've got to earn some more money. Then it's like 28 minimum for most guys. Most guys don't hit their stride or see real results until they're in their 30s. For me, it was like 28, 29, but 30s has been like, this is what I dreamt of. This is the male advantage, something I always talk about. But that's like 12 years in the game of hard work. That's 12 years of stress. I've got money now, but I'm still reinvesting like a madman. It doesn't feel any different to what it was, apart from the fact that I have nice stuff. It's still the same pressures and stresses. I'm still sat here going, fuck, I've put 700,000 in. I hope this works. The pressure on me is massive. If I was the most attractive guy in the world, yeah, I could get laid, but I'm not going to be able to build a family if I'm completely broke, life's going nowhere, and I'm a moron. So it's like, you still need to put those points on the board. Whereas on the other side of the coin, as a woman, it is plausible. Now, I'm not saying it's every woman, but it's plausible for her to be just, never accomplished anything in her life. Don't really have any ambitions, but she's absolutely gorgeous and she looks fucking amazing in heels and a tight dress. And it's just like, I'll take you under my wing because you're relaxing, you're calm, you're a good person, you've got a nice personality. You could have that as a man. You can be calm with a nice personality. You can be, fun to be around. If you don't have a frame like a man, which is going to take you 5 years minimum to build, if you don't have certain assets in place, if you don't have a life or, certain clothes or a look that resembles a grown-ass man, you're just not going to get anywhere. And I think, all of that comes from finances. You can't have the perfect beards or the perfect body or the perfect outfit, the perfect look or the perfect life setup without money. It's all going to cost. There's different levels of money, but it's all going to cost. You know, getting a top barber to do your beard or whatever, your hair or whatever it is, getting some beard oil, getting the right products and whatnot. Like, you know, nailing your skin like celebrities do. It's going to take time. It's going to evolve over the years. And all these things cost money. And then on top, which, you know, women are doing too, that's fine. That's the small scale for us. But then it's like, that's one box ticked. Whereas for them, that's the whole box. That's all. It's not everything that they'll want, but it's everything that they'll ever need, plausibly. As long as you're attractive, you can. And you know, by attractive, I mean low level attractive too. Because not every millionaire on the planet is going to be dating a superstar Victoria's Secret supermodel. Like, there's some guys that are kind of normal looking, but they're doing very well for themselves, and they're a certain type of man. And it's like, he'd be happy with an above average woman that just looks good when she dresses up. He's like, hey, this is a fucking result for me. I've never had female attention in my life. So it's just like, as long as a woman looks good to a certain level, it's in the bag. And it's not that hard to achieve. It can take 6 months in the gym and probably 25,000 a year. You could probably get away with that. Whereas the financial pressures on men is that, you know, make yourself look good, then expensive clothes, then a nice house, then a nice car, then a certain life and life setup, then the ability to pay for dates and holidays, and then the ability to provide for kids and to, you know, fund a marriage and all that stuff and a wedding ceremony and whatever. Like, I'll never do that, but it's all of those boxes being ticked. You just cannot be a bum. You cannot be a bum. You can't as a man. Here's the finalizing line here. You can't be a beautiful bum. You can't be a beautiful idiot as a man. Yeah, 18, 19, 20, university, yeah, you can get away with it. But the age I am now, you can't be really handsome, but you dress like a child. You can't be in great shape, but broke and stupid. Like, you need to have the full package. You need to be fine. Look, I'm fine with it. That's the rules of the game. Women want a real man, a certain type of individual who can tick all boxes. Okay, fair enough. But just understand the level of stress, the level of chest pains, the shit I've been through to get just to where I am today, and I'm still kicking on to the next level. Like, just please appreciate that. So when it comes to Men's Mental Health Week and a doctor comes on and says they just need to talk more. Oh yeah, that, and I also need about 3 million to be able to fund everything that I want to do in order to have the family, the house and whatever. And, you know, the way that inflation's kicking off like never before, and the fact we're in a recession right now and I might lose my job, and, you know, COVID hit for 2 years and it really fucked me financially. You know, and the fact that I look like a bum every time I go out because I've got no money. Yeah, that plus, yeah, I need to also talk about it. Like, please appreciate that, because I've lived it. I've come through it. I've had chats with you guys in the comments and whatever, and I've seen other guys go through it. It's the one fucking common denominator that drives us into depression. Okay, and people will say, oh yeah, but there's the guy who made Minecraft, he had 4 billion and he was still super depressed. Look at him. He's fat as fuck. He eats shit. He's living a terrible lifestyle. It's not the type of men I want you to be, okay? So, just, world out there, please just appreciate the sheer level of money that we need in this modern era as men to even be fucking noticed.